Hello everybody, welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. This is part 3, and, well, this is being recorded not long after the previous part, not just a few hours really. So I'm still kind of confused with the whole Bradley thing. Like, how is he alive? Was what he saw just a dream?
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Nope, you're not gonna drink for the whole series.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
I found a Darkwater PD badge. Lost a colleague recently?
What the...
Bradley.
Ethan?
I'm all right. I just had a... It's gone.
You're sure?
If it's important, it'll come back. But I can't explain why Dr. Fuller would have that badge.
The man's a danger, believe me.
What can we do, Pierce?
You two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then,
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
and you don't remember the events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
What's with all these hand movements that they keep doing?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller, and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
I'm sorry, but...
What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow.
This will affect
Perhaps
his
I'll find
destiny.
a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Can't get by.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Pierce, Colin, and Bradley decide to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter, who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Cat.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly, but he made a strong impression on me. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
What were those paintings?
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I'm not telling him this. I'm not telling her this.
We had a short conversation and then I left. I don't know what happened after that.
Oh, I see. Mr. Pierce, you must forgive my audaciousness, but I've had practice of life in high society for over 30 years. Reading one's interlocutors, recognizing the politeness of a lie, are things that are taught very early to young girls from a good family. But your lie has nothing polite about it. It is crass, insulting, and dare I say, terribly suspicious. Try to understand my position. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. We're so eager to see it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
I have 4 character points. The Shambler is her painting. Irene Sanders doesn't seem to know what she hates the most, Sarah Hawkins or her work. The fact remains that she accuses her of costing her husband's sanity. He apparently gouged his own eyes out under the influence of the painting. I must see it. The key to the gallery is probably in the office. Well, I'm sorry. Do all of you do that? Okay. Yeah, you keep locked doors in your house. That's very suspicious. Wow. How big is this
The
house?
man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
What the heck? Oh, we got some supernatural business going on here. Oh. Okay, what is this? Ew. Where's its eye? Eyes. I gained 2 character points.
What the hell was that?
Oh, shoot. It's saw me go in! Ew! Ew! I have to go through this again?
What the hell was that?
What do I do? Oh gosh. Can I get out?
I can't even touch it. No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it. What the hell was that? I can't even touch it.
Maybe it has some. Maybe like it'll have something to do with this painting. Bring it back into the painting.
That thing came out of this painting. There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it.
Do it. It's a painting.
That thing. There has to be.
Please tell me that I'm faster than this thing.
Maybe if I destroy it.
How can I destroy it? Did I lose it? I think I lost it. No!
Down.
Come on!
What the hell was that?
I don't know, but... Oh, it's over there. Come on! Not good.
Down. Did it hear that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
I hate this. This is so lame. Why do I have to do this?
What the hell was that?
Come on. Oh no!
Down. Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
Well, then what am I supposed to do? Use a different dagger! Where is it? Oh, it's right over there. Come on! Let me be!
Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
I had a feeling it was mine. Okay. I have to use a specific dagger.
What the hell was that? Down. Maybe I can use this dagger.
No! Can I... Okay, I can. Okay. Okay, I think that's good enough. Come on. Okay, it's not after me. But it's in that room.
Damn it! This dagger didn't work. Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Come on. No. Oh no. Is there a dagger in this? Yes, there is. How many have I used? Is there one in here? There isn't. Where is it? Oh, it's in that room. I guess I can just wait. Where is it? There's something. Oh. I didn't see that one. What? Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's two over there as well. Please don't tell me I have to use all of these. It's evil that I have to use all of these. Don't go in there. This is stressful. I really hope I don't die, because this is just really, this is tedious mostly. No, I don't have time. Oh, it had to stop over there.
I can't even touch it.
Really? It took that long? This is the last dagger. I'm sure of it.
This dagger looks different.
I'm pretty sure you would have said that no matter what dagger I used. I am not speedrunning this game. Oh no.
What's the matter with you? Don't tell me that you're going crazy, too.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes
Don't
without
push.
saying. If you can't
Yeah,
tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
The Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painting by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger is used to repel the creature. That dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. I left the Sanders house, still shaken by my encounter with the Chandler. Thanks to Kat's indications, I ended up at the Nameless Bookstore, a haunt for devotees of Esotericism. The place seems to have been burglarized. Who could have done such a thing?
Where's the bookseller?
Precise and illustrated with as much detail as its first volume. This book focuses on healing surgery specific to malformations and motor disorders.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement.
Okay, that was a lot of
Its
big words.
followers placed truth on the same footing as a religion.
I'm not reading that. Sweet. More things for my medicine. This is a good place to stock up on stuff. Oh, right. Doesn't this thing run out of stuff too? Didn't get to find anything on the occult.
An old diary.
The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan, I don't know how to pronounce that, entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. Sounds like Cthulhu.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
Probably the door.
Blood. Seems like amateur work.
What do you see?
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt?
Oh. Why would anybody rob a bookstore?
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the? Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Okay. Why is everything purple?
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Charles Hawkins tried to burglarize Algernon Drake's bookstore. But how is it possible given that he's supposed to be dead? There's a lot more behind this story than a mere conjugal drama. What did Sarah Hawkins and Algernon Drake try to hide in the latter's safe? So Algernon Drake, the owner of the bookstore, also knew Sarah Hawkins. Ugh, come on. The relationship went far beyond that of a seller and a faithful client. She helped him to protect an object. They hid in the backroom safe, and Sarah Hawkins painted this strange symbol on the door. Charles Hawkins must have wanted to steal it. I must open this safe and find out what's hidden inside. How can I find the combination?
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Found these sleeping pills in the bookshop. Does the bookseller suffer from insomnia?
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Oh no, how do you pronounce that? Key of the Roulier? I'm gonna call it Roulier. This key that bears the Elder sign is the only one able to protect you from protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion. Hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, and an Egyptian antique dealer, in press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor. The date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips of that. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. More information. Oh, I have 2 character points available. Anything else for this? No?
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Oh no, am I gonna have to read all this? I'm just gonna read this in my head so I can read it fast. I'll skip forward. Okay. So he seems to be involved in the occult as well. And he says that everything for the combination of the code is hidden in cylinder. In cylinders. So
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
There's a lot of stuff I'm missing here. Not anything on the occult. I could use some stuff for occult. Oh, cylinders!
Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
I only got 2. What do I do? Ah! Wait, give me a second.
And these red rocks, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
I got a 9 from that cylinder, but
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
oh,
Queen
just
has
that.
little protection.
Which queen? Oh, the White Queen. Yeah, it does.
The Queen has little protection. The Chalice of Knowledge. The Queen has little protection.
Again, there's no spot hidden.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
I'm looking this up. I looked it up.
What did Drake say about this collection?
And
Drake talked about a so these
I
are
don't know
volumes that
how.
Drake was talking about in his message.
But whoops. But the log number is, I believe. Whoops. This. How is it that? Somebody gonna be there? Or is something happening? Something's happening! It's just a piece of paper! Oh. Why'd you have to open it up to that page, huh? Back to the Riverside Institute? In the nameless bookstore, Pierce traced the trail of an attempt burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the latter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin. Ew. Lied inside. irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Ooh. Enter madness. Oh, no, whoops. See his finger? It's going down on my mouse. It's about to click.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him.
I'm guessing this person has, like, full medical knowledge, so... Yep.
30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin. Tender at the touch. Slightly sticky. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Wait, when did I find out they had something on his belly?
I see signs of hypodermitis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this...
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What's happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Oh, am I gonna have
Dr.
to see
Fuller
this?
said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No.
There are literally so many other species on the planet.
But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
His limbs? His body temperature? I don't know what experiments you've undertaken, but this is going too far.
Oh, I sense some excitement beneath your indignation. Could you wish to join me in my scientific endeavors?
You are a brilliant physician, Dr. Fuller, but this man has the attributes of some kind of animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope
His
you'll
fingers
one day
clipping
share
through his
my
coat.
point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder, and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
I found the book at the bookseller's safe. There was something wrong with it. It smelled of death and I had a bad feeling. I read it to understand why I had such feelings. What happened after that? Where am I?
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation.
What is going on in his... What is going on with his legs and everything?
Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
You must rest. You are still under sedatives.
You're right, Doctor. I'll rest.
Did I see him before?
What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it. The key to the boiler room.
Okay,
Not where
fine.
I expected to find it.
Why don't you take it?
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psych. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
You did good work. The tranquilizer is kicked in. Now you can disinfect and bandage his wounds.
Thank you, Doctor. And as to his weight loss?
I'll prescribe an antifungal treatment for his dysgeusia. In the meantime, feed him intravenously. Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I'm
Probably
sorry.
dead.
Dr. Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know? And we can't even see her medical file.
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming. But your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her myself. And keep you informed at once. Would that suit you?
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you.
Where's their mom?
Mrs. Sanders? Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
The file describes the state in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverside Institute, as well as the treatments administered to her. Fuller added a handwritten note. He could recommend to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet and rest that she needs. Empty IV.
So, Doctor, have you been able to examine our mother?
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is with your mother. I'll tend to...
Well, that...
But those...
Very well.
Okay, well, I guess I'm not.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the statue. She's alone in the back.
Let's hope I can go through the administration office. I don't have any business in the boiler room.
Oh, okay, that's why I didn't dig the
Water's cut off. It's a real show.
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Sleeping pills. Wait. No, there's no sleeping pills. Okay, I'm gonna end this episode here, so thank you for watching. If you like us, please like and subscribe. And good.